Look, you've been through it all, right? I mean, people that weren't here, y'all don't even want to know the kind of hellish, situations that Tom Coughlin could put his team through back in the day to get them ready. The NFL, the NFL rule players have had enough. NFL rules have changed, so it's nothing like what it used to look like. But how, if you were putting together a training camp, Fred, what's the right amount of prep time that you need to make sure you're ready to go in 2025?
I'm going to press the rules as far as I can press them.
Okay,
because I do believe in repetition.
Okay.
I'm going to do, what I was taught, by one of the greatest coaches to ever coach in the NFL. You have to push the guys. You have to challenge them each and every minute. He learned to back down, but yet he still pushed you to the limit. And you don't have a lot of time on field right now. So you have to take advantage of, creating an amazing plan for the staff, for the players, the training staff, the equipment staff, because it's really about recovery, but you want to also focus on mental reps and as well as repetition on the field. For example, Travis Hunter is going to need as many reps as he can get on both sides equally so he can be the best he's going to be, because he's going to be facing all pros on both sides every time he steps out there. And if he doesn't know his assignment or if he's not equipped properly, he's not going to be able to thrive to the highest level. So we have to be able to find reps for him best we can throughout that window that we're allowed. So I don't know, man, but back in the day it was kind of crazy when you look at it. 2 days, every day,
Fred,
110 degrees, rain. That was slightly.
he practiced y'all so much that us media boys would get fatigued. Because we're out there just out in the sun watching. I mean, this dude was just nonstop. Then we'd go across the river and eat lunch, and we're right back over there 3 o'clock on the field again, man. Y'all were, and we were watching.
You had to be as prepared and ready for the second practice when you're exhausted. I'm talking about your toes.
I know.
Your toes were on fire.
Yeah, I believe it.
Along with the other soreness. But, it was something you can look back on, and I compare it to the NBA prior to our rules changes. The NBA sort of kind of took a turn, and now they call it soft. I just call it evolution. Mm-hmm. Same with football. The rules changes create opportunities for the fans. Maybe the real fans don't love it. Some people tend to compare it to wrestling and with the hitting, but we're used to it now. I think we're past that stage where we can all agree that the game is faster. It seems to be safer. It's still exciting. I mean, we're watching the greatest sport ever invented. And, I just wish we would have got paid a little bit more. That's a joke. Because all of the older guys tend to complain about that.
You took the bigger beating. Yeah, that's
correct.
That's a lot of people.
I love the game, man. We're just a few weeks away from welcoming the Steelers to town.
Yeah. You know what, Fred? We sometimes it just it screams at you and you don't see it or hear it. And I think I brought this up to you way back when, before any of the offensive line changes were made. I remember I said, what's the over-under on new offensive linemen? And it was 1/2, and it was 1.5, and it may be 2.5. We may not be done. This suddenly has dawned on me as well, Fred. I'm a fan of a 4-13 football team. I'm a fan of a 4-13 football team that couldn't stop the pass last year, that only forced 9 turnovers. I drafted the best cornerback probably in college football. I'm misleading myself if I think that he's going to play receiver all the time. We're going to see him 40, 50% on defense. It occurs to me that he would be the best cornerback on the team, would he not? And if that's the case, doesn't he have to be playing, I don't know, all the time? So my new hot take is, I think at least out of the gates here, Fred, we're going to see the guy's going to be going full-time both ways. Because as you know, full-time doesn't mean 100. It might mean 80. It might mean 70 with just a little bit of extra rest. But how much when they announce the starting lineups for the season opener against the Panthers, is number 12 going to be on offense and defense? That's a good question.
I think it's a great question, and it's one question that's really left to decision or determined by Liam.
Yeah.
Right? And, we all as fans on the outside, because I haven't heard much, throughout the course of OTAs and practices or whatever, only what I've heard in the media, which is what most fans tend to hear, that Travis is going to be receiver first and then, maybe get some duty there on the defensive side. Originally, I thought it would be an easier transition to do it the other way around, where he would be a full-time corner and sprinkle in some shot plays, reverse plays, some distraction plays on offense, maybe 20 to 25 per game, because it's easier, I believe, to get him in that sort of flow than it is defensively. But we'll see. I mean, I'm sure they have a plan, and they've discussed it numerous amounts of time. Again, the key is going to be finding that perfect amount of plays for Travis and perfect situations that he can go in and be the best that he could be, because here's a kid who played every snap in college. The pro game is different. In college, in the Big 12, he wasn't seeing Jamar Chase every week. As a DB, he didn't see a Jamar Chase every single week.
Sure.
And then on the flip side, he didn't see guys like Pat Surtain. Now, let's say, for example, if they were playing the Steelers in the regular season, Jalen Ramsey, if he were lining up at receiver. So he didn't see these guys weekly, but he's going to see them weekly, each and every single week. But the teams are going to have to be smart in terms of the repetitions that he's playing, because they don't want to over-exert him. They don't want to burn him out. It's a very long season, much longer than the college season. So it's going to be some trial and error there. But to answer your question, I believe he can be a number one receiver or a number one DB. It's about where they want to place him.
And in fairness to them, they never said he's a starter on offense and not on defense. All they said is we're going to start him on offense, and that makes sense with the playbook. I mean, we don't know if their plan isn't for him to be the starter on defense, and then and to play ultimately. It'll be fast. I wonder right now, if you made a wager, which side of the ball will he see the most snaps this year?
I'm sure with all these different betting platforms, it's out there somewhere.
Yeah. I wonder which one. What would you say? Will he play more offensive or defensive snaps?
It really, one, I can say this. If the run game is amazing, I would say he'd play more offensive snaps.
Okay.
But most times, the defense
can control things.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a really good question, man. And I think if those sites are listening to you, they're going to create those, that bet and those odds.
Yeah.
But I guess let's just play with it. Let's. I'm going to say he's going to play more defense.
Okay, we'll see. And
just throwing it out there. I don't know either way, but I believe at some point he'll find a niche, and they'll probably all find a niche and agree that he has potential to be a lockdown elite cornerback, which might be needed. And also, it also depends well the other guys are playing. If it's a true need, where's the greatest need?
I would say this. Well, yeah, because if he plays receiver, he's not the best receiver. If he plays corner, he's the best corner tomorrow. In my opinion, with all due respect to, everybody else, Tyson and the rest of them. I think that Travis Hunter is the best cornerback on the roster. He may ultimately
I'm gonna fight for Tyson.
I hear you. I know you're a Tyson fan. I got you.
Injuries. I'm a huge Tyson fan, and I know he's dealt with some injuries. But when he's healthy, he's not a slouch, early second rounder, could have possibly been first rounder. But but that's a great argument, right? It's debatable.
Yeah.
So until he gets an opportunity to see the elite pro style receivers, I'll reserve that right.
Mm-hmm.
But again, offensively, I think his ball skills outweigh anything he does, and which might mean he can be just an amazing receiver.
Playmaker.
He's a playmaker.
We don't have any of those.
He's a playmaker.
Yeah.
He's a playmaker.
We haven't had enough.
BT?
Yeah, BT is for sure.
Yeah.
For sure. But
Correct.
we haven't had enough. I should rephrase it that way. All right, listen, we'll talk more specifically about camp next week and as we get closer. But after this long off season and what we've seen and all of the tremendous amount of change since mid-January to now, I mean, across the board in every form or fashion. Tell me what you feel best about this football team, like whether it's a position group or a player or a position, and then what maybe would have you most concerned about this football team if they're going to become a playoff team this year.
You know what? I like the fact that Tony Baselli is in the building.
Okay.
That in itself, I know what Tony brings. He brings that Coach Coughlin mentality where it's black or white. And, Tony's not shy to tell you how it is. And that goes for the people, in the front office he's working with as well as the players. He's going to see the players in the hallway and tell them, look, man, you played like this week. And he's not going to, sugarcoat it. And but it's a term of endearment. Like, he's trying to motivate these guys to be the best that they can be, and hopefully they can look at him as a Hall of Famer, a guy who's done well and who cares about the organization. Hopefully they can say, you know what? Well, he believes in me. He sees something that I don't
Culture.
see.
Culture.
Right.
We've had a culture lapse here.
That's what you need. Liam, I'm excited about Coach Cohen. I would hope that he turns the offense around and really gets the best out of Trevor, because we have yet to see Trevor's absolute best as a former first pick. So I'm hoping that from an offensive standpoint, they can find, and push that button, and we can see Trevor finish in the top, 3 to 5 in passing this year. James Gladstone, I just love his demeanor and meeting him. I think he's building a good roster. So I'm just excited across the board for the Jaguars. And change, it's intriguing. It's very interesting to see how everything is going to pan out. So back to reset, another season. Again, excited for a 4-13 team, and I'll always be excited for this team because one day they're going to do something good for this city.
Oh, we got to go to a Super Bowl, Fred. We got to get to a bowl.
Yeah,
we just get to a bowl.
Hopefully, this is the start of it. So we'll see.
Yeah.
Don't want to put too much pressure on the guys in the new regime, but hey, every year is pressure, right?